for the yarn of this fibers. So what do you mean by fibers? How they are obtained? Thread-like part in animals and vegetable tissues is called fibers. Understood? So especially,
I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Thread-like part in animals, what does it mean?
Thread-like part in animals in the sense, it's an indirect statement. It's not directly given it. Thread-like means if wool is there. How wool is formed? How wool
is formed from the sheep. We take it and from industries they're using machines.
Thread-like thing. Yes, 1 minute. Thread-like thing is a part from animals. And even vegetable tissues in the sense cellulose, even when we go with jute and all, we get from plants. So thread-like which is obtained from plants and animals are considered as fiber. Okay, so generally I have given different kinds of fibers which are used in textile industry. Understood? So these fibers are very, very important. Okay, not only textile industry, many other like stitching of nets. Understood? Nets, bags, yes, bags, curtains, and different kinds of uses are there. Okay, so all these are mainly how these are obtained. These are obtained on the basis of these threads. How these threads are obtained? These threads are obtained from the raw material from plants and animals. So they'll take the required source from the plants and animals, and they'll go with the different treatments, with different chemicals are used here, and we'll get finally we'll get the fiber, and we'll go with the yarning process.
Ma'am, I would like to ask something like I have heard about some dress that they should dry wash and all. What does it even mean? Dry washing?
So dry wash in the sense the material, like there are different kinds of fibers. Am I right? So when we go with the different kinds of fibers, simply I can say that cotton is also a fiber, silk is also a fiber, wool is also a fiber. Okay, so based on this, we can say that sensitivity. Sensitivity means some material it leads to strongness, strengthen, tensile strength is high. So it doesn't require the dry wash. So some fibers, if we select some fibers, that fiber is required. It doesn't have that much strength. So it requires dry wash in the sense sensitively, not by using harsh chemicals, harsh detergents, harsh soap solutions. So they'll go with mild soap solution to clear the dirt and to make the textile not to become dull. So then they'll go with a different treatment that is nothing but dry wash.
Okay, ma'am. I understood.
Yes, it is entirely based upon the fiber with which the textile material is made up of.
So that is nylon is that type of?
Nylon is a strong fiber gel. That's what we'll go one by one. We'll go one by one steps. Then only we can go with the examples so that you will be having a quite idea about it, so that you won't have any confusion between between this natural and the synthetic fibers. We'll go classification. So mainly these fibers are classified into 3 types, children. What are they? Natural fibers, semi-synthetic, artificial, or synthetic fibers. Okay. So classification, why this classification occurs? Mainly why this classification occurs is to know the source. To know the source of the fibers where it is obtained. Especially if it is natural fiber is mainly obtained from plants and animals. Semi-synthetic means here the raw material can be natural fiber. Understood? Natural, whether it is from plants or animals. Semi-synthetic means half naturally obtained and remaining is made up of man-made or synthetic fibers.
Ma'am, can you give me an example of semi-synthetic? Because I haven't actually heard about it.
Semi-synthetic are nothing but blending simply with the cotton and the synthetic fiber.
Understood? Okay, the mixture of that, like if cotton and another one,
another chemicals, another synthetic fibers are considered as semi-synthetic. What do you mean by semi? Means half. So half is natural and half is man-made. If we go with the artificial fiber, entirely it is used by chemicals, so that we'll get an extraction from the chemicals, we'll get the fibers. That is considered as
like nylon.
Like nylon, many are there, polyester, acrylic, how many rayon, terracotta, terrywool, all these blendings are completely, they are made up of synthetic fibers. Okay, understood?
Okay, ma'am. Understood.
Yeah. So, especially we need to much more understand about the introduction part of it. What do you mean by the introduction? What do you have understood about the introduction part, children?
Ma'am, like thread part of animals and vegetable tissues is called fibers.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are three types of fibers. They are like classification of fibers. They are natural, semi-synthetic, artificial.
So semi-synthetic means it's partial, naturally obtained, and partially man-made. What we can say, chemicals are used to obtain. Always, why we go with semi-synthetic is whatever we go, whichever is the product, not only about the fibers. If we have taken anything other than the fibers, definitely there is a blending one. Blending one is much more stronger. For example, the best example other than fiber I can give, like alloy. What do you mean by alloy? Alloy
It is a combination of two things.
Two things of metals, two things of non-metals. Very good, Pragya. Very good. Well done. Okay, two things of what we can say that different kinds of metals, different kinds of non-metals, synthetic and artificial fiber. So these natural fibers are mainly from the raw materials. Okay, especially from the raw materials. So these natural fiber. So when we think this, what are the raw materials will go with, children?
Raw materials.
Raw materials means the source, the main source of these natural fibers.
Mom, I think they are like animals and plants.
Yes,
Animals and plants.
animals and plants. Okay, so I'm going to show you it. Yes, these are natural fibers. So fibers which obtained from plants are called plant fibers. Fibers which obtained from animals are called animal fibers. So plant fibers and animal fibers, these two are from the like natural fibers are obtained from plants and animals. Understood, children? So natural fibers are of two types. What are the two types of natural fibers? One is plant fiber and the other one is animal fiber. What do you mean by plant fiber?
Ma'am, like the fibers that we obtain from trees, herbs, shrubs, and plants.
Ma'am, can I just go back to that slide?
Yeah, I'm just. So that a bit colorful way I have gone with. Why? Because so that it is, you can write the highlighted ones.
Okay, ma'am.
It's better to note down, children. Why? Because when you're going with the weekend test, so all these are very much beneficial.
Ma'am, can I ask a question?
Yes, Pragya, you can.
Sounds like animal fibers. Can you give me a few examples of animal fibers?
Yes,
Ma'am,
can
I?
Yeah. You want me to give the animal fibers example?
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
actually, yeah. Pragya asked, can I answer the question?
Yes.
From sheep we get wool, and camel we use their skin, leather. Okay. Ma'am, I have a doubt that is the camel skin we use and they are known as leather. Are these semi-synthetic?
Yes, child. So natural fibers, when we go to the plant fiber and animal fiber. So in general, what are the animal fibers? Animal fibers are considered as wool. Wool is an animal fiber. Am I right?
Yeah, ma'am.
So what do you mean by semi-synthetic? Polywool, polycot. So poly means that the monomer is used and the cot in the sense cotton is used. Polywool means?
Ma'am, polyester and ma'am, polywool. Ma'am, polyester and wool.
Yes, polyester and wool. So there the polyester is monocot, that is synthetic man-made, and here wool is natural fiber. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Understood or not?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this is about plant fiber and animal fiber and natural fiber. So we have discussed about the introduction. We have discussed about the natural fibers, right? So natural fibers are of two types. One is the plant fiber and the other one is the animal fiber. So fibers which is obtained from plants are called plant fibers. Fibers which obtained from animals are called animal fiber. So can you please give me the examples for the plant fiber, children?
Plant fiber, like jute,
Cotton
cotton.
and silk.
Silk.
No, sorry.
Silk.
Or I want. Okay, leave. So when we discuss about the natural fibers, especially the plant fibers, there are many examples for the plant fibers. Cotton, jute, silk. Why we'll go with the silk, children? Silk is obtained here. Silk is obtained from silkworms. Silk is obtained from silkworms. But if we go to the structure, if we go to the cycle of the silk, especially these silk are obtained by eating mulberry plants. Understood? Mulberry plants, and they by using it, and they'll go with the what we can say that sericulture. In the sericulture, especially, they'll what they cultivate. They cultivate by using this mulberry leaves. So we can silk, definitely we can go with it two ways. If we consider plant, so we can consider it as it's also a plant, animal leaf. But especially when we go with it is eaten by the mulberry plant. So that they'll cultivate, how they cultivate the plants at the same way they'll cultivate by using this in a sericulture. Understood what I mean to?
Yes, ma'am.
So mostly silk in the sense we definitely go with the sericulture. So partially we definitely will go with the examples for this plant or animal also you can. But wool, how wool is formed, and generally it is directly from the silk of the from the fleece of the animal. Okay, so when we go with cotton, definitely we know that how cotton is obtained.
Cotton is obtained from the cotton plant.
So these are the various types of cotton, child. Pragya. These are the various types of cotton.
It's Neha.
No. Pragya has texted something. Bamboo, various species, bamboo box cotton, koi. So here also, whatever it is, whatever the naturally obtained product, there are many kinds of quality based, purification based. For example, when we go with coal, so when we go with coal, we can see that there are different kinds of coal materials are obtained based upon the percentage of carbon. Here also, so what Pragya has sent just now, different species of cotton. Am I right, Pragya?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So all these are nothing but based on the nomenclature, based upon the scientific systematic study. They have given different kinds of IUPAC names. So these names are these are nothing but scientific names, but simply we'll call in general as cotton. Okay, so in this cotton also, based upon the quantity and the quality, there are different kinds of cotton materials. Okay, based upon the quality of that cotton, from which kind of plant, what kind of seeds from the seeds they obtained. So when we go with the best example, coal. So when we go with coal, there are different stages of coal: the peat, lignite, bituminous, anthracite. All these are the different kinds of coal materials. So if you go to the anthracite, that is the last stage of coal, when the coal is decomposed under the earth crust by the decomposition of plants and animals, so we get fossils, so that coal is obtained. So this coal, there are different stages of coal. First one is peat, lignite, bituminous, and anthracite. So these are the 4 different kinds of coal. So when we have seen the purity and quality of the coal, anthracite is having higher quality, different kinds of cotton, based upon the quality of the cotton. Yes, very good. If you go with the coir is obtained from what we can say coconut tree. So these threads are used for tying purpose and even as a rope. So when we go with this
Ma'am,
rope,
can I see?
yeah,
Ma'am, the coir, like there are many coconut plants in the south region of India. So in the south region of India, the mattresses of the beds are made up of coir.
yes,
Ma'am, can I tell? Basically, I am from South India, and actually, in our houses, like near our house, we are having many trees of coconut, and we are using it for many uses. Like many choir, we use it for making many of the mats. Ma'am, I would like to ask that in the picture you have given of silk, it's actually white in color. Then how the textile materials, what do you get there in different types of colors, shiny? Why is it so?
very good. Actual natural form of silk is white in color. We can see that it's very shiny, especially when we have you observed our grannies and all? They are having a shiny white color hair. It's exactly looks like silk. Understood. So these silk they obtain from this sericulture, and they'll pass the silk for the yarning process. So what they'll do, they'll treat with different chemicals and bathing, like with somewhat they'll go with acid bathing and all. So after that, what they'll undergo? They'll send this to yarning. So when they yarn, so with what thread, what kind of fiber they want, they'll just pass this to undergo this dyeing process. What do you mean by dyeing process?
To make it to make color, add color.
So then they'll go with the yarning, and finally it goes to the waving process, so that we'll get the silk textile, silk clothing.
Ma'am, can I say something?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I wanted to tell where silk originated from. Ma'am, it actually originated from ancient China when there was a queen who was a very brave queen. Like we have Jhansi Ki Rani in India, so she was also a very brave queen, but in China. So one day she was just drinking tea under a tree, a mulberry tree, and suddenly a worm dropped in her tree. So when she looked at it,
from the tree into the cup of tea. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. So the worm was there was many threads coming out of that cocoon of the worm. So when the queen looked up at that tree, she saw many of these, and then the idea came to her that we could use these for clothing and all. So she took all the worms from the tree and she threw them in a hot bowl of boiling water. And that's how the invention of silk was made. But China wanted to keep this a secret, and China was learning a lot by this because it was a rare thing. But later on, many countries started to learn China's secret, like India, then Bhutan.
Sericulture, like in the small scale industry, they are going with the sericulture, and even India also plays a major role, children, to yield silk. Okay, so especially the silk is much more useful in our country only. Silk and bamboo, all these are the plant extract, cellulose especially. So when we go with the jute, okay, so jute is also especially fibers, especially these are used to perform bags. Nowadays we are having degradable and biodegradable products. So when we go with the degradable and biodegradable products, definitely. So what we feel, children? Degradable and biodegradable, nowadays we are going for malls and all, there we are getting this jute bags. It's just a complete replacement of plastic. So the whatever it is, they take the cost of the jute bag, but jute is a biodegradable, okay, and we can reuse it. Okay, so this is obtained naturally, so that if there is any deposition of jute, what happened? Definitely it decomposes within less time. Okay, understood or not?
Understood, ma'am.
Yes, and silk especially, what they'll do, you should know very well about the silk, how it is formed. So they'll take this cocoons and all, they'll cultivate, they'll take this worms and all, they'll spread these worms in a, like what we can say that it is made up of, entirely made up of what, bamboo and all. They'll construct like that, and they'll give this mulberry leaves. Okay, so from that actually before getting from the cocoon, so they yield like a silk thread, it is obtained. So have you seen that spider, how it is network like structures and all? At the same way, this silk also will form along with the cocoons they'll get. So they'll collect these cocoons. So before getting the insect out, they collect these cocoons. So what happened? They just go and add these cocoons in a boiler. They just boil it. Why they boil it? To separate this?
Ma'am, to separate the worm from it so that the worm dies, and also some extra germs that are there because it's in the water.
And then after cooling, they'll collect all this silk thread, they'll collect it and they'll go with the different baths, whether it is acid or base bath, whatever it is. So they'll undergo different baths with few chemicals are added, not like harsh, they are like mild chemicals are added, and they'll go with this bath. So when they go with this bath, so what happens? They'll get it and they'll collect it in a kind of thread, and they'll send, after cooling, they'll send it to yarn. So when they yarn it, what they'll do, they'll wave it into different threads, and they'll allow the threads to form bundles. So these bundles, before going to the textile industry, these bundles will be dyed. So different colors dyes are added. So whatever the color is added, we can see that the silk, pure silk, is very much lustrous. What do you mean by lustrous, children?
Ma'am, shiny, like it's very smooth to touch and soft and all.
So before going also, they'll go with the purification. So whatever is a natural product, not only the fibers or different kinds of things which are obtained naturally, definitely they'll go with the refining process. What do you mean by refining process? Purification. Purification. So why? Because the substance which are obtained naturally, there is a chance of attraction of moths. What do you mean by moths?
Ma'am, are you talking about the insect that looks like a butterfly?
Yes, we are talking about silk only. I'll show you the cycle also. Now I'll show you.
Yes, ma'am, I know about moths. They're usually in like gray or black in color, but some are like very rare that are
That's what. Before going to the different stages, I just show you the cycle, how it forms, so that you'll be having a clear idea. So before, wherever the sericulture, what we can say that the small scale industry is going on, so there we can find around the industry, we can find the mulberry leaves. So where there is a good, nice food, definitely there is a work also will be very much strong. Our body also supports at the same way. So these mulberry leaves, they'll add this mulberry leaves. Especially these cultivators will add this mulberry leaves so that the insects will yield, and they'll very much fond about this food, so that they'll yield much more silk.